Good evening. I'm Eugene Chan on Straight Talk, and joining us is Michael Denmark, founder and chairman of the Great Entertainment Group. Mr. Denmark has been the creative force behind some of Hong Kong's most iconic attractions, including the AIA Carnival, AIA Vitality Park, and the Hong Kong Observation Wheel, which together have a combined ticketed attendance of over 10 million consumers. For over a decade, he and his team have been transforming the Central Harbourfront into a vibrant hub for world-class events and experiences. Welcome to Straight Talk, Michael.
Thank you, Eugene. It's a pleasure to be here. Delighted.
Thank you for coming. So after a 7 years absence, Cirque du Soleil has come back to Hong Kong with its production KOOZA, which just closed on Sunday, after running a good 6 weeks at the Central Harbourfront event space. So what brings the show back after the last show here in 2018?
I think the world since 2018, as we all know, changed quite a lot. And like all entertainment properties, Cirque went through their journey, and they were very keen to come out of North America for the first time in a long time. We were lucky enough to secure them to come to Hong Kong as the first stop in the Asian tour. And they had very fond memories of Hong Kong. They first came to Hong Kong 30 years ago with Alegria. In 2018, they had a very good run with KOOZA, and they were very keen to come back. So, for us as a producer in Hong Kong, it was a wonderful opportunity to work with literally, I believe, one of the best, if not the best, touring entertainment properties in the world.
Right, Michael, I sort of have a good chat with you. I know that you've been in Hong Kong for over like 30 years, and you have always been into the entertainment industry, and you were involved in helping bring the Phantom of the Opera and also some very great names to Hong Kong. Right. So what is the vision of your company, or what are you trying to do to Hong Kong by bringing Cirque du Soleil back to Hong Kong this time?
I think in the last 2 years since the border opened and since the masks came off, we have all collectively been working together to bring Hong Kong back to its former glory, and indeed into a new position within Asia as Asia's events capital. And Cirque du Soleil, and in particular KOOZA, which is their classic circus performance, was the right property to bring to Hong Kong, because we know that the local community already enjoyed the show, but the opportunity to market to our neighbours now in the Greater Bay Area and share this world-class performance with a broader audience of 80 million people as opposed to the 8 million in Hong Kong was really too good an opportunity to miss.
Right. I'm sure many of the viewers like myself who have been through Hong Kong in the last few decades have seen different type of entertainment, like circuses when we were young. We have seen horses, monkeys, and all these people flying around and all that. How has all these performances sort of developed until today? Because not everybody has the privilege to have attended the show, but I'm sure they'll come back. Can you just tell them what has changed over the years?
Well, I think the images of the Greatest Showman movie and the elephants and the tigers and the lions and that traditional impression of circus is pretty much left now in the 20th century. I think the idea of touring with animals and having animals perform has been left behind, and the performance of essentially some of the best world-class athletes there are, and with the creative force that has come out of Montreal from Cirque du Soleil in transforming what we all traditionally thought was a circus, has become very much the norm and the expectation of the theatre, combined with that athletic performance and the live music, has had crowds in Hong Kong. In fact, I'm smiling because we closed the show on Sunday and we finished with 125,000 tickets, which is a huge success. And just I'm smiling because we've just put a lot of smiles on a lot of people's faces, which has been wonderful to see.
Right, I had the privilege of actually attending one of the performances, and I'm quite impressed with all those acrobatics. Not to mention those vibrant costumes. Yes, I mean it's very colourful. It's a happy thing, especially after a hard day's work. It's not a bad place to go at all. Yeah. Why do you use or choose the harbourfront space to do it?
One of Hong Kong's many attributes, in my opinion, is that the Hong Kong harbourfront is an iconic skyline. And unlike many cities around the world, we were discussing this with Cirque the other day, Hong Kong has had the foresight and the vision to keep a space on the harbour front in the middle of the beautiful skyline, predominantly for entertainment and events. And so that is the prime location in Hong Kong. If you're bringing a temporary event to Hong Kong to be able to produce there, it's got a wonderful location as far as travel and logistics are concerned. It's a photographer's dream. Everybody wants to have their picture taken there. And to the theatre of coming to town with the big top, building the big top up on the harbour front. The entire market is filming, taking pictures. The media is talking about it, and I passionately would say that it's probably the best location in the world to be building a big top of that scale with 2,500 seats in it, and creating a buzz. It's equally okay. It's a travelling circus, so they end up in different places around the world. But for us, I think Hong Kong is spoilt to have that location. And certain to say, the CEO came over recently and they had just been in a couple of cities in America, and he said it's just so good to be back in this location. We feel special. We know that we're the jewel in the crown of the skyline. And so it's a very positive location.
I think when you talk about big top, for the benefit of viewers, it is a 19 meters tall sort of structure and actually 51 meters in actually diameter. So quite a large tent when you actually drive past along the Hong Kong harbour front, or coming, you actually see it from the other side, from Kowloon as well.
Correct, yeah.
And it's not cheap. I mean, it's cost you $4 million in building it, but only actually 11 days.
Yep, I mean, none of producing any of these shows in Hong Kong is cheap.
Right.
But if you get it right, as we have done this time, the objective for all of these things is there are two things. One, ensure that we're putting smiles on faces, and try not to lose any money while you're doing it.
Right.
And I think, the way of, for me, the secret sauce of how to do that is to work with the right partners, in advance, to share the vision, the journey, and the load. And if I may say that this show wouldn't be with us now unless we had partnered with the visionary Amy Lowe at UBS, who I know you know well, and UBS have been a great supporter of a number of the projects we've done over the years. And when Cirque was tabled, it was an immediate yes.
Right.
The opportunity for them to showcase their commitment to the community, both Hong Kong and the Greater Bay, and share the tickets with their teams, their clients, and again the broader community, was too much for Amy. And she was great actually on those opening nights on the stage. But yeah, UBS combined with the private sector, combined now with the government. And I saw Rosanna was on the show.
Yes, she was.
A few weeks ago from the CSTB. And currently, in my humble opinion, over the 30 years I've been here, there is a harmony right now between the government and the private sector. We're sharing the same objectives with regards to what we all want to achieve for Hong Kong. And there is a collaborative nature that is working unlike it's ever worked before.
Right, Michael, since you mentioned that it's quite a costly sort of setup for the performances, it is said that it's expected to generate over 120 million in terms of social economic value. Something that I'd like you to enlighten us, because I know the tickets are not cheap. No. But most people who have been there say that when into the next time. So it shows that people will appreciate having something like that in Hong Kong. So how does that help Hong Kong? How does it bring over 120 million sort of in value?
Well, there's a huge amount of advertising that happens. We hire a huge workforce, like we do with the carnival. When we have the carnival, we have 3,000 local team with Cirque du Soleil. It's been in the hundreds. There's been of that 35,000 people. So in 2018 there were 90,000. This time there were 35,000. The majority of that 35,000 have come from overseas, and 80% of that 35,000 have come from Greater Bay or beyond in China. And it's been really interesting for us because the ticket price, as you say, it's a higher ticket price. So the average ticket price is 1,000 Hong Kong. But we also have the Hong Kong observation wheel, where we have a $20 price tag, and then we have the carnival, which is about a $200.
Right.
And the reason I bring those up is because we're getting used to the consumers both. We know the Hong Kong consumer very well, but we're working very closely with the with 80% of our 2.5 million people that go on the wheel are from China, and they're the assault tourists that come in for 3 or 4 hours. They go on the wheel and then they spend their $400 a day in different places around Hong Kong, and then they leave. This particular targeting the higher net worths, as it were, of tourism to come down. We believe many of them were coming and staying overnight in hotels, going out for dinner, and this has been the target that's been slightly elusive in the last few years, and we collectively, as producers working with the government, have been really focused on what we can do to attract them to Hong Kong, to stay overnight and spend more.
I see.
And I believe that bringing something world-class such as Cirque du Soleil that you cannot get in Shenzhen or Guangzhou or anywhere in the Greater Bay is something it adds to the attraction. I believe Hong Kong is one of the best cities in the world to travel to as a tourist anyway, but if you can bring something that gives them the hook for another reason to come back that you can't get in Shenzhen or anywhere in the Greater Bay, then we're winning. And I believe that's what's happened, and that's where the added economic value comes.
Right. And that's why they're only having Straight Talk in Hong Kong as well.
Correct. Correct.
Anyway, let's take a break now, and we will stay with us. Don't go away. Thank you for staying with us. Michael Denmark, founder and chairman of the Great Entertainment Group, is sharing with us why he has brought Cirque du Soleil back to Hong Kong. So, Michael, one thing that I'm sure the viewers have sort of picked up, a main message you said is Hong Kong is very attractive, especially as a sort of Asia's event capital, as well as the government and the private sector are now working well to make this happen. So, from your perspective, and you mentioned earlier, Cirque du Soleil did select Hong Kong as the place to come back to Asia. So, what niche does Hong Kong has compared to other Asian cities like Singapore or even other, say, in GBA? What makes Hong Kong so special?
Well, we have the history. You know, before '97, the English language, the variety of business approaches that were culturally there, now combined with the last 25 years post the handover, we've got this young, dynamic business minds in Hong Kong. Hong Kong geographically is not very big. So what I've found, I was just in London a few weeks ago, and it is impossible to get more than 2 or 3 good meetings in a day because you're so far to travel. In Hong Kong, if you're travelling more than 20 minutes, it's an unfortunate time, but you're also travelling within those 20 minutes to see decision makers, and you're seeing decision makers who want to get things done. Hong Kong, I believe, in every industry, shares a drive and enthusiasm for business, unlike anywhere else in the world. You can pitch an idea in the afternoon and you can be closing the deal tomorrow because people want to get things done. And I've experienced that over 30 years, and it's not changed. It's got better, apart from getting stronger and stronger. And as I mentioned, this collaboration before with regards to the government and the private sector, I guess the stadium would be a wonderful example of vision combined with execution over a 10-year period. And now in the last 6 months, we've seen more entertainment than we've ever seen in a compressed time frame from the Sevens opening in the end of March, all the way through to now all the different Canto and Mando pop shows. And we've got the games coming up, the China Games, but during the summer we've got more international football than we've ever seen. We've got Cristiano Ronaldo coming with his team. We've got Arsenal and Tottenham and Italy and AC Milan and Liverpool. None of this would be possible without the dynamic nature of this collaboration between the private sector and the government, and it's something we should be proud of, because we're not having any problem selling these tickets. These tickets are flying because everybody wants to go to the stadium and they want to see this content. And the same with West Kowloon, M+, and the museum. They're all thriving because of the infrastructure that's coming down from Greater Bay, and because I believe the work that's been done collaboratively to get the message out that we are open for business. We have a wonderful, rich culture. We have more of the best hotels in the world, I believe, than anywhere else. We've got the best food, and we drive on the right side of the road, as far as I'm concerned. All of these different things add up to why it's a great place to be and do business.
One thing I must sort of add to what your description of Hong Kong is, I was also in London recently. I must say that Hong Kong is very safe to walk down the street without worrying about your telephone being snatched away. Hong Kong is very safe, isn't it?
Yeah, no crime against a person, and I would say the same. I'm from London. I've been in Hong Kong 30 years, and I'm back in London now, and I'm having to learn the new rules. And you know, holding onto your telephone really tightly, walking through central London, it's not a great feeling.
No.
And you know, we're spoilt with regards to how comfortable we are here.
Right. So you're saying that the current state of events here in Hong Kong, because of the new infrastructure, including the harbourfront, everything's sort of moving in the right direction, isn't it? So what type of success indicators will you use? Will you just use attendances as just one, or what else will you sort of see that we are doing better than last time?
In general, across the board?
In general.
I think, you know, attendance obviously is an indicator. The reach of the stories that are being told, the narrative that is being picked up. As you know, media has changed so much in the last decade that this is wonderful being in a traditional studio, and the reach of this show will be going across far more than Hong Kong. But the user-generated content that every show now gets, whether it be a concert and people have filmed, everyone wants to show that they are there, but now everyone's becoming a professional editor with their phone. So what we've just experienced at Cirque, the constant churn of wonderfully positive content that's coming from people, and when they're coming to Hong Kong for a day, they're showing that they're on the Star Ferry, they're showing they're going to the Peak, they're showing they're buying a certain piece of bread with blueberries and yogurt on, and they're showing that they're at the show, and before they've even got back to the train, they're editing and posting.
Right.
So the reach of everything that we're doing, the rich, colourful content that's being created beyond what traditional people of our age used to think was a media mix. We would do some newspaper, some radio and some TV to promote something. It's now such a much broader, multi-layered approach with regards to influencers, KOLs, and the general public. I feel that we're in the part of the world that has actually led the charge with the influencers and the approach to sharing all this content, that Hong Kong is really benefiting from that.
Well, Michael, having said that, I must say that I've done some research as well. I mean, we have multi-layer sort of approaches to the community. But if you look at the figures, traditional media like television, like TVB, we're still way ahead of everything else. So how do you see this sort of fit in with the new changed behavior of the consumers? I mean, people often say Hong Kong must change to maintain a niche, like bring a world-class show, including like footballs and like the Cirque and all that. And how do you see the continuing for this momentum? Because Hong Kong must continue to lead, because some people, especially as the F&B industry, are having a tough time because they're moving over across the border, as they so claim. How do you see that?
Well, there's a couple of things in there.
Yes,
TVB, number one, was one of our lead proud supporting partners in the show, and has proved to be an unbelievably powerful partner to work with regards to our reach, with regards to our communication to the marketplace. And that's because everybody, I believe, still has TVB at home, even though they are watching their phones at the same time. It's been a wonderful relationship. As far as the ongoing change of Hong Kong, it's changed so much in the last 2 years. It was literally only 2 years ago when the masks came off and everyone talked about the Greater Bay Area and what it must be and what Hong Kong must do to change. It's changed. We have evolved so quickly that I believe we've gone from what is it we're doing, what is the journey, to actually being here right now from an events perspective. I don't have the answers with regards to the broader F&B, because I know that there are challenges across different sectors, the higher end sectors especially, because I think the makeup of business dining and things have changed. I don't have those answers, but I do know that everybody that comes to every one of our events comes to do the things that they're coming to do. They are coming to be entertained, but they will also eat, they will also drink, they will also take photographs of themselves and video of themselves. They know how much they're going to spend, and if you give them the opportunities to spend it, they're comfortable to do so.
Right. Michael, apart from bringing the Cirque, I mentioned earlier, you also organize events around the harbourfront event space, like you had the observation wheel.
Yeah.
You do have a vitality park, you use the grounds to sort of get people there. Tell the viewers a bit more. What have you found in terms of the harbourfront? You said that it's got a nice backdrop for photos. What else does it offer?
Well, again, the government has worked very hard on opening up the entire front of the harbour front to ensure that you can walk from one side of the island to the other. So the traffic every day on the harbour front is very much like it's a 21st century city. So you've got people running, walking dogs. You've got your locals enjoying the harbour front, and as much as tourists. Fortunately, where we are with the observation wheel, the Star Ferry docks there. It's a wonderful location for tourists to get off, and we know that when the train pulls in from Guangzhou in Kowloon, they're jumping off the train, they're getting the Star Ferry, and first stop is the wheel. And we've been engaging, doing research with a lot of these tourists to find out what they like, what they don't like, how long they're going to be in town.
Right.
I think whilst we have the new stadium, there is still a very strong argument for the entertainment space along the harbour front. And I think, again, it's not just the 36,000 square metre space where we do the carnival and where we've done Cirque du Soleil, but there are different pockets along the harbour front that are being brought to life with busking and with community events. And I'm a big fan of sharing the space with the community. We work with about 400 or 500 community partners, and I believe that community producing entertainment, whether it be a group of 33-year-old ballerinas in their tutus, or we have the old lady dance classes that come down, and everything in between. I think that's very powerful, and I think it's our responsibility to share the privilege that we have of utilising that space on the harbour front, and not just focusing on the tourism, but sharing it with our local residents to share their culture.
Right.
Because in turn, that's actually now called content, because the tourists, especially our tourists from Greater Bay, want to come down and see how Hong Kong people live.
Michael, we only have like 20 odd seconds left.
Oh.
Tell the viewers, are there any more big events coming through Hong Kong that we can sort of anticipate the harbourfront will be as vibrant as the Cirque? From
my perspective, we're working with Cirque to try and do a show every other year, a new show every other year, bringing it back to Hong Kong and making Hong Kong the first place in Asia where these shows come. I'm off to Sydney on Friday to see the Michael Jackson musical, which I'd like to bring to Hong Kong in the next couple of years. And also I'm looking at trying to get Hamilton and various other musical theatre projects. I'm also looking at a Concourse of Elegance classic car show, and we're about to announce that the Carnival will be coming back this year, as it's Hong Kong's favourite winter tradition, and we feel very proud to have been doing that for over 10 years.
Right, thank you, Michael, for sharing your vision and what you have done for Hong Kong, and on behalf of the Hong Kong people, we have to thank you very much.
Thank you.
So our harbour front offers a truly iconic setting for world-class productions like the KOOZA, and will continue to play a vital role in reinforcing Hong Kong's growing momentum as a premier global stage for mega events. Until next time, I'm Eugene Chan, and thank you for watching Straight Talk.